17 women in New York. His name is Joel Rifkin. Wrote a letter recently to his attorney. And it wasn't about guilt or innocence or even remorse. He wanted to make sure his lawyer sold his story quickly so no one else could cash in. The fact is, Americans are irresistibly drawn to stories about criminals, and programs like this one have followed those stories. That fascination means there's plenty of money to be made, since the magic of marketing has turned criminals into commodities. There are laws based on New York's Son of Sam law designed to prevent criminals from profiting from their crimes by selling their stories. But Son of Sam has been declared unconstitutional, so now everyone has joined the gold rush. The criminals, the agents, even the victims. Have things gotten out of hand? Decide for yourself. John Wayne Gacy tortured and murdered 33 young men and boys, sentenced to be executed May 10th. Jeffrey Dahmer, 17 murders, cannibalism, sentenced to 957 years in prison. Amy Fisher shot Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the head, sentenced to 5 to 15 years. What do these notorious criminals have in common?
Comics. Anybody need any help here?
Well, comic books, for one thing.
It's an excellent seller. It outsells Superman and Spider-Man by about 5 to 1. And it's very well written.
How much is it?
$12.
These are boom times for some of the most vicious killers in history. Mass murderer merchandise is selling as fast as it's produced, right down to serial killer trading cards.
How much is Jeffrey Dahmer? $3. Is this a complete life story, or? Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
The more grotesque the deed, the greater the killer's appeal. Just ask Hart Fisher, creator of the Dahmer comic book.
The French doesn't buy this. Mom and Dad buy this. Your sister gets this because she knows her brother really digs the Dahmer case. Everybody buys these books.
They had already warned me if I did hit them that they would arrest me. So I just stomped and yelled and screamed as loud as I could.
For the families of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, the murders are nightmares they wish would fade away. They never imagined those nightmares could spawn a new American industry.
When I thought, okay, I can go back to work, I can start being productive again, then on came a comic book, trading cards.
This book exploits the memory of your loved ones.
The pig goes and does it.
Well, just my opinion on that book is that the guy that wrote this book, he's a secret, Jeffrey Dahmer. The only difference is that he wants to make a buck.
People get off on this. You know, there's persons that want this kind of sick stuff and will pay big bucks to get it.
Tom Jacobson, who represents some of the families of Dahmer's victims, says there is no way to take murderers out of the marketplace.
Fact of the matter is, Jeffrey Dahmer is a very marketable commodity. And to sell him is worth millions. Millions.
America's fascination with villains is as old as the country itself. But it's never been big business like this before. Something has changed.
You know, you're bigger than Freddie and Jason now. Only you're a real person.
Do you think I need a lawyer?
You need an agent. Notoriety and fame have become one in America. And maybe notoriety is even more popular because it's scary, and people like to be scared.
Director John Waters' latest film is about a suburban mother who kills her way to stardom.
We make these serial killers the stars of our own personal soap opera, and they become the same as movie stars in some people's mind, which is certainly something odd about the American sense of humor. It's very American.
Yeah, but do you think in the minds of people there really isn't a difference between a serial killer and a movie star?
In some cases, no. But if tonight, at the trendiest restaurant in town, if either myself or Jeffrey Dahmer was in line, he'd get a better table. He's more famous, and more people would like to see Jeffrey Dahmer than they would like to see me.
Lee Harvey Oswald. Toe tag. To order for $8,000.
Comic books and trading cards are one thing, but the better stuff is over at Herman Darvick's auction in New York City.
Lot number 160, Amy Fisher. Enough said.
This is real stuff, really touched by the real criminals. Like this receipt Amy Fisher signed when she turned over the clothing she wore to prison.
Sold to number 48 for $550. Thank you.
The buyer is Peter Cosenza.
I loved Amy Fisher. The story has everything in it. Passion, emotion, true crime. I'm a true crime junkie, so it's just, it just had everything for me.
In fact, everyone is making money off Fisher's celebrity.
This is Amy Fisher, My Story. This is the book that was published after the case was concluded. And I'm proud to say that I have the only autographed copy from Amy of this book in existence. And if my law practice should happen to fail, this would be my retirement fund.
1196.70.
And by the way, what's better than Amy Fisher's prison signature or the toe tag Lee Harvey Oswald wore at the morgue?
I think it would be great if I could get Lorena Bobbitt's knife and sell that at auction. It would easily go for $2,000, $2,000 to $4,000, maybe even more.
When you're ready to move up to the pricier items, it's time to visit art dealer Rick Staten in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Staten is turning his fascination with crime into cash.
The least, I guess, artistic of all of it would be the stuff that Charles Manson has drawn, but obviously that's the stuff that everybody wants. It's certainly not for everyone, though more and more every day I'm beginning to believe that maybe it is. I don't know. It's
Artistic or not, Staten's death row artists are able to find a market, so long as the signature is recognizable.
I'm not a prison groupie. I'm not somebody that's interested in writing everybody on death row or everybody in prison in America, just the ones that are the top 10, if you will, the ones that are more well-known, the ones that are more notorious.
You may remember Jeffrey Dahmer's drawing of a zombie altar for his victims, introduced as evidence at his trial. Staten is encouraging Dahmer to try more drawings.
I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it will ever be good, and I don't think Jeff cares if it's good. And Jeff doesn't have to care. It's going to sell regardless.
But the absolute king of the hill, #1 all-time killer artist, is John Wayne Gacy. In the 1970s, Gacy tortured and murdered 33 boys, the worst string of killings in American history. He used to dress up as a clown for neighborhood children. Now, for thousands of dollars, he paints them.
You'd be amazed how many people have purchased, say, Gacy's paintings as I need this for a birthday present or a Christmas present, so please rush this back to me if you can.
Gacy has spent the past 14 years here on death row in southern Illinois. He's kept himself busy answering some of the 25,000 letters he's received, turning out his paintings, and planning gallery shows. And there's more.
Thank you for calling the John Wayne Gacy interview line. The cost of
For just $23.88, curious callers can dial in and hear Gacy himself.
Over the past 14 years, I, John Wayne Gacy, have been appealing my conviction for
We now discover that we have what, in essence, is John Wayne Gacy, Inc. It has corporate counsel. It has a national distribution network. It's big, big business.
Gacy even has lawyers and agents to help him keep track of his business affairs. And the state of Illinois is so annoyed about his success that a $140,000 lawsuit has been filed to collect back rent on his prison cell. But there is no law that can prevent Gacy from selling his painting or stop the public from buying.
What's it tell us about us? That you would want to have something from the hand of John Gacy, his signature, a lock of his hair, his artwork on your wall. What's it tell us about us?
As John Wayne Gacy draws closer to his May 10th execution, the value of his painting is going straight up.
These are paint by numbers.
Because I think people...
They look like whole paint by numbers things. $20,000 for Pogo?
There is one more twist to this story. The ones who have not profited from all this hoopla are the victims. So if you can't beat them...
There is going to be an attempt to market Jeffrey Dahmer memorabilia. I want the money to go to the families. I don't want everyone else to continue to profit off this story at the expense of my client victims.
If you could make these trading cards and comic books and representations of what happened go away, Well, do you want that? Or do you want money for what's out there?
Money. I think we deserve the money. We do deserve the money. We can't get our loved ones back in the way they left us. We deserve money, money, and more money.
That's right. Some of the families of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims have gotten an $80 million civil judgment against him. And to collect their money, they want to auction off his belongings. All of them. Tom Jacobson and his clients are going to auction off the vat where their relatives were boiled down. Without any qualms.
No qualms. Just for money. We don't get into qualms. We don't get into head problems with this. We don't get into the morality of this. We're only interested in the money.
I don't get how you cannot feel bad selling Jeffrey Dahmer's refrigerator to some God knows who. I don't get it.
I really think the freezer go more than the refrigerator.
The file cabinet, the handsaw, the drill.
Right.
As for which of these items will bring top dollar, ask the expert.
Jeffrey Dahmer's dinnerware, knives, forks, spoons, plate. There are people who will buy it. There are people who would like that as a souvenir. Even ordinary people who would like to have that just maybe on the coffee table saying, you see that fork? Guess whose fork that was.
And the proposed auction is just for openers. What the families really want is a partnership. Jeffrey Dahmer Incorporated. First item of business, selling Dahmer's life story to the highest bidder, with everyone, including Dahmer, sharing in the profits. Does this make you feel queasy at all? A partnership with Jeffrey Dahmer.
We are suffering. And I feel that I don't care if we have to sell his wisdom tooth. He owed that to us.
No point beyond which you would not go.
No.
No line that says this is morally wrong when it comes to making money off my...
After what he did, there is no wrong.
Hey, if you like that, grab my catalog.
Which leaves the people the families have criticized in the past amazed.
They are the victimizers now. They're victimizing themselves. They're exploiting the memories. They're doing exactly what they've been upset about. What they say has been inflicting so much pain, they're doing for a couple of bucks. They sold out.
The American way was bucks, money. That's all that counts. And I want it to go to my victim families. That's what it's all about. Money.
You know, so make a reasonable offer, and I'll consider
So
it.
far, Jeffrey Dahmer has not agreed to become business partners with his victims' relatives. But he is practicing his art in New York.